Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome. I am SimUK and today I'm going to be taking a look at Train Sim World's latest DLC, Main Spessart Bahn, or MSB as I will probably refer to it for the rest of the day. I do not consider myself to be a train enthusiast, instead I'm more like a train sympathiser. I don't know the internal workings of a DBBR 185.2, but I have played Train Sim World quite a bit, and I know how many eggs it takes to make a reindeer. I'm streaming this live on Twitch. Hello everybody on Twitch. And from the footage I obtain and the experience I endure, I will formulate my review on this DLC and then put a full review out on YouTube. I promise I will try not to discuss Train Sim World or Dovetail games too much, because as we all know, that is a very different subject. That being said, I will be discussing it and Dovetail games as a company briefly today, but ultimately this is a subject which deserves its own video, and this DLC I think should be dealt in a separate way. I'd like to say that I was very fond of the previous German DLC for Train Sim World. It had a good feel and a good flow about it, and as there are going to be many similarities here today, I will be expecting a high level of detail and immersion. So to answer your question, it's 6 eggs to make a reindeer, obviously. Everybody knows that. This is Train Sim World's newest DLC, and already I'm fighting back the urge to talk about Dovetail games and Train Sim World the game. I love this double-decker thing, double docker or something it's called. I really wish we could implement that in the UK. But obviously, that's it, the Doppelstock wagon. Oh, that thing is awesome. Assist heavy trains on steep inclines. Lots of Mercs or BMWs. Ooh, interesting. Complex AI timetables. I mean, it looks gorgeous, doesn't it? The rain doesn't look so good, but overall this game looks absolutely amazing. Just to clarify, Dovetail Games have sent me this DLC for review purposes. I haven't bought a Dovetail Games DLC for a while. I think the last one I bought was the West Somerset Railway. And I think I shared my thoughts back then on how they were cutting corners and not delivering what I was expecting at this stage of the game. And yeah, I mean, they send me review copies and I'm quite happy to make reviews, because I try and make my reviews as honestly as possible, regardless of whether they send them to me or I buy the DLC myself, in order that other people who haven't bought the DLC or are perhaps considering buying the DLC can get a really good insight into what they're going to get for their money. Because £24 for a DLC is not chump change, and it does add up, and I will be discussing that in a bit. Let's jump in, shall we? Let's do some tutorials and see what this DLC has to offer. 52-kilometre route of the main Spessart Bahn route from Aschaffenburg to Gemünden. We got the DBBR 1852 in DB Traffic Red Railion livery, and that's the identical locomotive and livery, I think, from RSN. So that's not a new locomotive, it's just been copied over, which does kind of highlight the fact that, you know, it is possible to put any train on any track. So I'm trying not to talk about that. I really am trying hard. Authentic and detailed sound recordings recorded from the real locomotives. I have pretty much in every review highlighted some form of issue with the audio in the game. I would be surprised if they fixed it here, but the fact that they're highlighting authentic and detailed sound recordings recorded from the real locomotives leads me to believe that the locomotive audio is going to be really good. Whether or not the ambient additional sounds that you hear in the world is going to be any better is going to have to be something we look at.
Welcome to this BR 146.2 electric locomotive in DB Traffic Red livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the startup, stopping and passenger door operations.
Ooh, exciting.
Climb aboard to get started.
Door locked. Door unlocked. Wow, the door closed on its own.
The battery will power up the control desk and allow you to interact with it.
Hold the battery switch in the on position for 5 seconds. Okay.
This locomotive draws power from the overhead electrical supply via a contact arm mounted on the roof. For this to work, we'll need to set up and then raise the pantograph.
Can I set it on auto?
A lot of your time will be spent in the driver's seat.
Oh, God, it's going to be tricky.
To get the locomotive up and running, set the master switch.
Oh, that's good audio.
Headlights are important in letting others around know that a locomotive is operational. We now need to wait a moment and let the brake system charge.
It's over here.
It'll take a minute or two.
Pretty sure. Is that that? Or is that that? I get confused. It's been a while since I played this. I think it's this one, isn't it? Again, nice bit of audio. What happens if I open the window? I can't reach the window. Seriously?
Now activate the pantograph so that it raises up and makes contact with the overhead catenary. The locomotive is now ready to be energized. This is controlled by the main circuit breaker. When stopped for longer periods of time, or when leaving the cab, a parking brake is engaged. We'll need to ensure that this is released in order to get moving. Use the master switch to determine the direction of travel. Give a quick glance of the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Well, I would do, but you won't let me open the flipping door. Or the window. How am I supposed to give a quick glance down the flipping thing when I can't actually look outside of the cab? We'll just assume it's okay. Set the door locking to unlock right side doors. Okay. Unlock the right side passenger door. Loading passengers, alrighty. Getting there. We're getting there. Looks pretty decent out there, I've got to say.
Boarding is now complete, so set the doors to locked.
That's cool. Hang on, that there is lock all doors. Why do I also have to lock the door?
The train brake is used for normal line operations. Due to the size and weight of this train, small amounts of traction should be used to overcome initial friction and prevent overpowering the electrical systems.
Oh, we're up and running pretty quick.
Now we're rolling, we can apply more power, and focus can be diverted towards achieving a desired speed.
That sounds really good, actually. And it's kind of 3D. It's like the sound is actually coming from where it's meant to be coming from. That's quite cool.
Coasting is a method used to easily move without...
Sorry.
There's a short distance between here and your next stop,
Yep.
so be sure to manage the train and prevent overspeeding.
Okay. Use the throttle and the brake to manage my speeding. Am I going too fast? Am I meant to be doing 40? I think I'm doing 60. Wow, I tell you what, it accelerates pretty damn quick. Is that my speed limit there? 40? I don't know. No, it's 60. It says up there in the top right hand corner. I was absolutely doing the right speed. Well, I've got to say, the first thing that's really struck me is how good the loco sounds. I'm really impressed. I've never been on this type of train before, so I can't say whether or not it's accurate to real life, but it certainly sounds realistic, and the 3D element of it is much better than usual. I'm very much hoping that if that's a feature that they've improved or added to the game, that it will be spread out across all DLCs, and you know, probably not a bad idea if they actually highlight it and tell us about it as well. Cap, you've seen me drive a train before, haven't you? Stop
We're on
at
the final approach to
Gemünden.
Gemünden, and will soon need to start applying a small amount of brake force to achieve a comfortable stop.
Yep. But I guarantee you, in this tutorial, you don't tell me when that is. So I'll just have to guess. Having never been on this train before, I don't know how much weight we're carrying. I'll just guess how much brake I should be applying. And when. I think lots more than that quickly is probably accurate. Oh no, we're slowing down real too much. I'm gonna have to get my keyboard fingers in order here. Doing this all with the mouse is a nightmare. Actually, that's one thing I remember from the previous DLC, RSN. These trains do brake and slow down incredibly quickly. I really struggled to overshoot my stopping point. I think 99.9% of the time I always put too much brake on, and I just proved it then. That's how quickly the train slows down. So that's still the same, and that must be accurate. I can't imagine a bug that huge would slip its way through Dovetail Games QA. He says, not knowing whether he's being serious or not. I'm glad they were a bit more forgiving with the stop point as well. It used to be incredibly accurate. I remember in the last DLC that they were a bit more lenient with how accurate you had to stop. And that's good when you're like learning. Being beaten around the head every time you get it slightly wrong is not a good way to teach. Damn it. Go on.
Like before, unlock the doors to allow passenger boarding to commence.
We'll assume that they're getting off on the right, because I can't see. Or are they on the left? I really can't tell. What's the external camera button? Oh, it is on the right. I got lucky. I guessed well. See, look, lock all doors, and then I have to lock the door as well. Don't get that.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of this locomotive.
What, all of them? In 5 minutes? Are you sure? Okay, well, that's the first one done. I'll catch up on chat now. What did you think of that, guys? Were you impressed or disappointed? I have to say, I was impressed with the audio. The audio sounded really, really good.